What's going on? Blast TV, they finally gave me my own show, so let's make it good. I've flown in Counter-Strike gods from all over the world to come and be grilled by me on their past, present, and future. We've got interviews, great moments, and an ultra-difficult, all-new gauntlet map made to test the skills of our upcoming guests. Welcome to your new favorite televised vacation. This is the Launders Show. Our guest tonight is somebody, to put it frankly, well, we've been living in his world. Somebody who has ended the last season on a high. This in-game leader has earned the respect and adoration of his fans. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, HooXi. There he is, folks. How are you doing, HooXi?
I am good. What about you?
Great to have you on the show. I'm doing fantastic. Can I interest you in a glass of fine Danish tap water?
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Okay. If it's not tap water, is it Faxacondi that you're drinking?
Actually, yeah, that's one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, your absolute
and
favorites.
I'm so sad every time we are somewhere else, we can't get it. So
when you play a tournament on Danish soil, you have access to Faxacondis.
Mm-hmm.
Does it help?
Of course it helps. It's like home field advantage.
Yeah. Congratulations on the win at the Blast World Final, first of all. That's your first Tier 1 trophy that you've been able to win. Mm-hmm. It's not like the only great result that you've had. I mean, even having played on the Copenhagen Flames, bringing a team with players that people don't really know about at the time, into the Tier 1. Were these guys that you knew were going to be, Tier 1 players on different Tier 1 teams in the future? Or did you think that you'd be playing with them through the journey all the way up until now?
Well, I hoped I would play with them the whole way, but I knew it would be difficult in an organization like Copenhagen Flames because of the economy. And obviously, teams like Heroic, Astralis, if things doesn't go their way, they will look elsewhere. And I think we were the best bet for them. Also, there was a trend of Danish players going to international teams, which I jumped on the bandwagon a bit. So yeah, I knew it would be difficult to stay together, and actually am surprised that we stayed together for that long in Flames. Well,
the organization that picked you up is one of the most popular in the game's history. I remember you mentioning it was just kind of a surprise that G2 had reached out to you when they did. Could you talk about exactly what happened there?
Well, I was looking for a team after the major, the Antwerp major, and I had some offers from different teams that were not on a level of G2s.
Like whom? Don't have to worry about them now.
Let's just say that they were not on G2's level when it comes to pretty much everything.
Were they Danish teams?
No.
No? Okay.
No, everything was international. I got a message on WhatsApp, and yeah, everything went pretty quickly. I have a suspicion that someone from G2 talked to some of my friends, like colleagues and stuff like this, like how I was as an IGL, to kind of get a picture of like how I would do things, and then they liked what they heard. And then I had a talk with Remy, X-Tas, the coach for us back then. Yeah, I guess he liked what I said as well, and then I ended up getting the spot, so.
I'm trying to figure out why there are so many top-level Danish in-game leaders. That's the question that we all want to know the answer to. And it seems like whenever I talk to one of you, you guys just all seem like you've carved your own path. No other in-game leaders exist. Danish CS, it's only something that exists for everybody else outside of Denmark.
I think the boring answer I always give to that question is that we have this good kind of ecosystem, or whatever you want to call it, where you start from the bottom, and then there's like different people who takes over every time you take a step up. And at least before coaching was as popular as it is now, all the IGLs who kind of fell off or didn't have the time or motivation or whatever it could be to play on a top level anymore, they would go a bit lower in the rankings, and then they would teach the younger players. So that would be like a typical kind of pecking order, if you want. It would be go to Barry or Heste. It's a guy who was working with, I think, both Astralis and Heroic as analyst. And then it would be Hunden, and then you would go to whoever was the top dog. So that could be Kerrigan, or that could be Glaive, or now KDN, for example, so yeah.
Ah, okay. For me, who I'm always trying to talk about storylines, predict what happens next and stuff, I think we wondered if G2, if there was no result in the World Final, then you're just left to think about the last year, and there's some time off if the organization would think about making some kind of roster move, or if whatever would happen. So did you feel that kind of pressure to just be able to pull out a result at some point?
I think everything that happened before this summer, I can't take the blame for. So
you didn't have much time.
G2 not having a trophy for however long is not my bad.
It's on you, HooXi, it's all on.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like we had this week of practice before the World Finals, and and it went really badly. Like really, it's the worst week of practice we ever had on this team. And I think some of that frustration maybe came from, I didn't really actively think about it, but I think there was some pressure in the back of my head that, okay, Alexi only got 6 months. This doesn't look good. I screwed up a major, And the coach who decided to take me onto the team also left. So some important people who took the decision to give me a shot was not there anymore. So Of course, like I would be lying if I was not like feeling the pressure a little bit. But then I think G2 would not care with the World Finals result after what happened to me personally, because the whole team was kind of shook by it, and the fact that I stayed there and played, I think they didn't even actually expect. So in the end, that event didn't mean as much as it maybe could have. But I think if everything was, ordinary, then maybe it would have been really important if we didn't do a good result. Maybe there would have been changes. I don't know.
Thinking about that, the major, not being able to make the major, then it's not even just not making the major. It's now there's just no other events going on. So there's just like nothing to take anyone's attention away from this. In that time off, how are you keeping your head down? And what's the strategy? And how does it feel to know that you've got to like bide like a month of time before you can get to your next event and prove yourself again?
I don't even think people understand how depressed I was. I was in my bed without any lights on in my hotel room for 3 days straight. I stayed in Malta, I didn't go home.
Oh man.
And I was just watching Netflix and crying. I'm not even kidding. I was so depressed. It felt like everything was over in some way. It was just so unexpected. Like I never thought it could happen. We took some time off. We met again in Berlin in person to kind of talk about what we should do now. And we also had some changes with Extas and Jerome, our long-time manager, leaving. So yeah, we had some changes we need to talk about and how we wanted to move forward, and I think that has been working out really well so far.
And it would be hard to talk about that moment if you didn't have the World Final to close out the year. This win, you talked about, maybe you can't recapture the energy from this exact win, and you have to just absorb it and really appreciate what happened at the time. But we look back on the last year of Counter-Strike, and there were so many different winners. Do you think that there can ever be an era again for one single team?
Yeah, I definitely think there will be an era again at some point. Like somebody will figure out a new way of playing the game that will take time for people to adjust.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like the word era is a bit overused. I think Astralis had a real era,
okay,
for example.
Sure, yeah. Everyone's trying to figure out, like, is this the era now? Is this the era now?
It's like everybody's getting called legend nowadays as well. Like, calm down, dude.
You are a legend, HooXi.
No, I'm definitely not a legend yet, that's for sure.
Okay. Who's the oddest teammate that you've ever played with?
I don't know. We were just an odd group in
the Flames?
Copenhagen Flames. A bunch of young kids and then two way too old guys in me and Roy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So
hey, you played with Roy.
He's weird in some ways. Like if he sees a banana, he will scream and run, and his whole smiley thing on Twitter.
At the Rio Major, we were like roasting him about it because they did the content piece with Paula. It was so funny to learn about his food aversion to fruits and vegetables. Could you explain that in detail? The moment that you learned about Roy's
I think I had
foods?
the most typical reaction that anybody would have. It's not that he doesn't like fruit, he literally is almost afraid of it. Like when somebody's sitting next to him and eating a banana, he's like moving away or asking you to put it away or something. It's just a weird thing, but...
So do you have to worry about when you bring out fruits if you're with him at practice?
No, it's not like that. When you figure it out, you start bullying him instead with it. You're not worrying at all. Like you just you move back closer. Yeah. And then the natural reaction would be, what about apples? What about strawberry? You just keep going through the list. So
who else was weird on the team?
We're all weird in a way.
I had another question for you, but I mean, you don't have to answer anything that you don't want to. But when it comes to growing up, did your parents have a positive view on gaming?
Yeah, well, for a starter, in Denmark, you get money to go to school, right? So that helps. Then after, it's pretty normal for people to take 1 or 2 years off to do, most people travel, and some people work, and I decided to chase my dream of becoming a professional player. My dad was not really involved with the decision too much. He was just, always saying, do whatever you want, kinda. I didn't really have strict rules or anything back home, and my mom was always like, okay, it might not necessarily look like the best idea, but if you don't go and take the chance now, you will look back in 20 years and be like, why didn't I take the chance, That was what kind of stuck with me, and then I ended up giving it a shot for way too long, but in the end it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really well. The Blast World Final was just such an incredible run. So we've actually got the interview that you did with Banks after the win at the World Final.
HooXi, first grand final like Manassi, first tier 1 event where you grab yourself the trophy. What does this mean to you?
It means the world to me. This is the event where I won my first arena match, and then I win the trophy as well. That's pretty perfect. And well, I think it's obvious what I'm going to say next. I'm not going to stand here being crybaby because I've been crying for a week straight. But obviously, I would wish that my father could see that I actually accomplished something. I think he would be proud of me for once, and I don't know.
I think we're all very proud of you. Guys, one last time, give it up for your Blast Premier World Final 2022 champions, G2!
I think I cried. I was casting. The only thing I could think is I just kept thinking of the word bittersweet. After some time now, could you break down what this moment was like?
I can say that I don't have any tattoos. And for the first time in my life, I considered getting a tattoo of a roller coaster because that was how that year felt for me. And this was obviously one of the biggest spikes of the roller coaster for sure, both up and down. It was definitely bittersweet, yeah. That's a good word to put on it.
Was it hard to enjoy the moment just for what it was? Was your mind in two places at once?
Yes, for sure. I was walking down the stairs like after we won and we were going to the trophy, and already there I thought about my dad, and I feel lucky that I haven't lost anyone that I love before this. You just kind of get reminded that there's something bigger and more important than CS, which I kind of forgot. It was definitely not easy to enjoy.
A lot of us use gaming and have grown up using gaming as a way of getting away from stuff in real life, just not having to think about it as much. When your mom encouraged you to continue to play at the World Final and you stayed because of it, when you were playing those matches, was it just the screen in front of you and nothing else?
Obviously, my mom and sister encouraging me to stay was one of the reasons, but also just having this escape from my own thoughts was one of the only reasons why I stayed as well. And it was definitely the right thing to stay there and distract myself.
Did you learn anything about yourself as a player, just being in this completely new emotional mind space, playing at a tournament and brand new circumstances for yourself that you think about to this day?
What I was thinking about was just that, sounds kind of cringe or cliche or whatever, but life can end so fast, like out of the blue, and you shouldn't waste your time here. I just started thinking about pretty much that in different ways and just gave all my energy that tournament at that moment. And I think if you ask anyone on the team, like something happened to me, like I was extra motivated. I gave everything every single time we played, and every single time I had to do a speech before we played, or I have to go through anti-strat or whatever it could be, I would just be there 100% in the moment. So yeah, I think I learned some in that regard, and when I have a tough day now, I try to think back of those thoughts.
I've also thought about getting Life is Short tattooed on me, but again, too cliche, just can't do it, even though it's so damn true.
Nope.
I'm glad to be able to go through this. It's such an incredible year. Like, I know you just wanted to do hero shots today, but the fans at home are going to be loving the fact that you came on. Is there anything that happened with a fan that was like a little bit too excited?
In Flames, when we were less known, I would say, we were at a CS event and we were standing outside the arena, where like regular fans could be as well, and we were in casual clothing, so we had no like Flames merch or anything on. Some like half-drunk fan comes over to us and asked if we had a lighter or something for his cigarette or whatever, and we started talking to him, and he didn't know who we were. So he started talking trash a bit about Copenhagen Flames, and we were playing with
no way.
And we were like playing along for way too long. Like we were like asking him, what about this Roy guy? Is he's pretty bad, right? Nah, I think he's just old, but he's pretty good. But still, like, I don't know. We would just keep like asking questions, and he just didn't get it. Like no matter how obvious we tried to make it, like because we wanted to leave as well, so we just tried to make it so obvious that he would actually 100% understand that we were trolling him.
Feel some embarrassment.
He was just too drunk, I guess. It was kind of funny. I think that's one of the funniest fan interactions I've had. Besides that, it's pretty much just people being way too shy. And
now, if someone asks me for a photo, I take the phone and I take the photo. Because if their hands are shaking or something, that photo comes out bad, you just got to do it. Okay, that's pretty good. I think a really big thing about Counter-Strike, again, is the non-stop calendar. And it's kind of a shame that we don't get to, take some time to unpack everything. So I think that's really great. And now we want to turn up the heat, okay?
All right.
All right, so we want to get into the gauntlet. Have you heard of the gauntlet from anybody so far?
No.
The only other thing I want you to know is that this really has become about Cadian and Dupree and how much they seem to dislike each other. Do you know anything about that beef? What's going on there?
I'll just pull a Mourinho here and say, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Okay, I love that. Okay. Of those two people, who do you want to beat more?
Cadian for sure.
Cadian for sure. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Cadian is number 1 right now on the board. So, you ready for the gauntlet?
I am so
All right,
ready.
let's get out there. Let's get you through the curtain and into the gauntlet.
Let's go.
With a trophy in his back pocket from the World Final, is HooXi ready to bag another win? It's time to take on the gauntlet.
Right. Let's see. Movement part, that's not good. This is so frustrating, just waiting for this. And I don't know if there's a trick, but if there is, I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Wow, this is annoying when you have to be fast. No. Oh. No! Yes! What's going on? No! Are you kidding me, bro? Oh no, this will go wrong for sure. Oh, thank God, dude. Can I call Modesty for help? Someone? Anyone? For sure, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Alrighty. Somebody at Blast for sure hates me for putting me into this. Ooh, that's pretty good. Let's go, dude. This has to be the best time. If it's not, then I don't know. For sure, that's better than Cadian. If that's not better than Cadian, then I don't know what to say. It does not get better than that. That is the best time for sure. And if it's not, then I don't know what to say. Terrible map design if it's not the best time.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for contestant number 4, HooXi. Let's go. HooXi, I know
I
it's out here.
survived.
Well done, man. I was watching you blaze through that.
Uh-huh.
How are you feeling about your time?
I'm actually pretty confident with my time.
Yeah, because you were complaining a lot before.
I was, but I don't know. Apparently, I'm a natural to that map, I think.
Yeah?
I have a pretty good feeling that it's like better than Cadian. That was my goal.
I'll tell you this right now. The aim segment, you destroyed Dupree and Cadian in terms of consistently doing
Can
that.
we get this on paper?
We're getting this
that
on
HooXi-
camera, okay?
No, but we need to get it like on like a wall as well or something. Like
We're going to now make this official by bringing out the leaderboard. Are you ready to see your time?
I am ready.
All right, assistant, roll out the leaderboard. Chop, chop. Okay, perfect. Here it is. The outstanding times. We've got 3 Danes at the top at the moment. You want Cadian's head, is that right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like that's my only goal.
Okay, so, right now, if you had to guess, what is your time?
I don't know if I can give you an exact second, but sub 1 minute.
Sub 1 minute.
Sub 1 minute. That's my guess.
Sub 1 minute. Okay, that's a pretty
I felt like
bold
I was
prediction.
I was zooming through that map.
Zooming through that.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're confident and you're comfortable with me writing this number down,
I am.
I want you to sign this before I even write the number down. Is that cool?
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
I'm gonna sign this end
This
over
end?
here. Yes, just however you would sign it for a fan.
Which I am right now.
You got any HooXi's World? Any GIGACHADs?
No, I have my little smiley here.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. So, don't be alarmed by how long this takes me to write this. Okay.
It can't be a big number, so
I wouldn't say that the run was good. Let's see.
it can both be a good and a bad thing.
Oh, we're gonna reveal this now. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna make it official. I wouldn't say it's good, because I would say it was great, HooXi. 56 seconds.
Oh, me.
That's right.
I was right.
Dupree, that's an aimer, isn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah, this guy was top 30 this year, Cadian. But look at HooXi, cutting that time down like a piece of wood. Unbelievable, 56 seconds. This is my time just like sitting here playing it once. When I was at home, even playing it a few times, I had just over a minute.
Not bad.
Absolutely destroyed it. And I was thinking when we watched Cadian's run, it was nearly flawless. The end block segment, he took a few tries on it and hit 123. But when he beat Dupree, who also looked very fast, I was thinking, man, I don't think anything's going to be that much higher. And here we are, HooXi, and you wanted it in writing. The guy not known for his aim, nailing the aim segment, destroying Cadian, destroying Dupree, and topping the gauntlet challenge. Beautiful
Putting
work.
G2 on top.
Putting G2 on top. Beautiful work. You absolutely smashed it, making all of Denmark proud and taking down your nemesis in Cadian. And Cadian's nemesis was Dupree. I mean, who's your nemesis? That's the question.
I don't know.
I don't think you have any haters, HooXi. And that's why it was wonderful to have you on the show to talk to you tonight. I want to thank you for joining us once again. To everybody at home, stick around because next episode we've got a former German IGL turned coach who has had one hell of a fitness transformation. You'll have to stay tuned to find out who that is. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, it's been a blast. I wouldn't say it's good, because I would say it was great. Oh, god damn it.
No.
Oh, let's see these stats.
Yeah, that's not.
Okay.
Oh, this is actually not that bad.
This was,
Oh, it's pretty bad in the middle. I just don't know what to tell you. Like, this guy, I already told you, he's just weird.